What really bothered me, personally, was how Osha's lightsaber changed because she got slightly emotional, when all other lore tells you it's a whole process that involves meditating and essentially torturing the crystal to bend to your will. Just a minor issue compared to many of the others, but one that stood out to me. Did it? Did it really stand out to you?
The life force of your bond. A power like life itself. Unseen for generations. A dyad in the force.
This talking point is one of those talking points that is copied and pasted all over social media, and it is frustrating as a lore nerd to see canon misrepresented in this way. Just a minor issue, but one that stood out to me. Let's be honest, you had absolutely no criffin idea about this until you saw the plethora of shorts, TikToks, and YouTube videos from grifters and chuds trying to grift off of the Acolyte, complaining about the slightest out-of-place grain of sand on the beach. Now, let's address your comment. Osha's lightsaber changed because she got slightly emotional. This is a tactic used by a lot of carpet nuggets and chuds. Their reading of a movie or a show or a scene is typically riddled with the fallacy reductio ad absurdum. Because the thing is, Osha wasn't slightly emotional, in the same way that Kylo Ren wasn't having a bad dream. Non sequitur, there was no bad dream, there was no dream. Luke went to check on Ben and sensed the future when he probed Ben's mind. Anyways, continuing, Osha was not slightly emotional. Your argument only works if this is actually true, except it's not. She is filled with rage and anger. It is overflowing and pouring into the Kyber crystal seen here. It is a slow and gradual process as she reels from killing her former master. She had just found out for 16 years her master had lied to her, that he was the one that murdered her mother. Osha's knee-jerk response was to lash out, and in true dark side fashion, force chokes soul and draws it out over an extended period. This is what's known as silent rage, or seething, or smoldering. Here are some great examples from cinema that portray just that.
I envy you. Go on, get laid. Get drunk, you didn't do anything. Because you got no choice anyway. I mean, we're all fucked.
This must all end. I know now that it's over. I knew it then. Howard!
Back to your comment. When all other lore tells you it's a whole process that involves meditating and essentially torturing the crystal to bend to your will. Let's look at what the lore tells us. This is from the canon source book Secrets of the Sith, which is essentially Darth Sidious's journal. Under the section, Make It Bleed. First, they must seize a pure crystal from the lightsaber of a Jedi they have vanquished in combat, for the saber of a Sith is not given, it is taken. So even though Osha isn't a Sith and this doesn't apply to her, that is in fact a lightsaber taken from a Jedi. Soul. Then they must infuse that crystal with their pain, anger, and hatred, bending it to their will. This corrupts the crystal, aligning it with the dark side and making it bleed with unbridled crimson power. She's pouring anger, hatred, and rage into the Kyber crystal while she is coming into direct contact with it. The bleeding process can yield unpredictable results. Some crystals shatter, making their energies unstable and unpredictable. Others resist their alignment, refusing to be bent toward the darkness. Now this is important because we do have examples in canon lore that provide unpredictable results. In Darth Vader 2017, when Vader is bleeding the crystal of Kirak and Phila, this is most likely the panel most people think about when it comes to the process of bleeding being a spectacle. First and foremost, this is an example of a crystal resisting its realignment, as stated by Sidious. It also does not happen over a long period of time. The time it takes for you to read a panel and look at its pictures does not indicate passage of time. Another factor to consider is Vader himself is still conflicted. In Rise of Kylo Ren, Ben bleeds his own crystal, and the hatred and anger are so unstable that it causes the crystal to crack, giving birth to Kylo Ren's crackly lightsaber. In Jedi Survivor, Dagan Gera is just woken up. He disassembles his lightsaber and infuses the crystal with his anger, bleeding it pretty quickly. Quicker than Osha does. And although for dramatic flair the crystal emits a pulse wave after it is bled, there is no implication here that the ritual was anything more than what it is. In the Acolyte, Osha is filled with the rage and anger of finding out Soul murdered her mother, and he's been lying about it and hiding it for 16 years. In response, she force chokes him, and while this is all happening, the crystal is being bled, receiving all of her negative emotions as she is killing her former master. This is not slightly emotional. This isn't a bit mad. This is pure anger and rage being tamped down by natural responses. As I showed you in all of those examples in cinema, different people have different reactions and different responses as to how they express anger or hatred. Sometimes you're so angry that you can't even express yourself. Sometimes you're consumed so much by your hatred that all you can do is close your eyes and just simmer in it. Not every moment of rage and anger has to be loud and obnoxious. Like I said earlier, it is the literal definition of the words seething and smoldering. In Osha's case, the crystal didn't resist, and we can reconcile this with some narrative inference. Soul submits to Osha willingly, saying, "It's okay."
It's okay.
He surrenders to her punishment, and in this way we can infer that the crystal, having been part of the 16-year lie, had also resigned itself and surrendered, similarly racked with guilt like Soul. So to recap, you have to take a crystal from a Jedi. Although Osha didn't have to, she did. She took Soul's crystal. Check. You have to infuse the crystal with pain, anger, and hatred. Check. This moment was, in fact, consistent with canon lore. And you, commenter, do not, in fact, no ball. You saw all of the popular grifters complaining about it, similarly making reductio ad absurdum fallacies, and then you thought, man, I guess it's just cool to do this. In the same way people were complaining about Ki-Adi-Mundi's birthday. Nobody knew or cared about Ki-Adi-Mundi's birthday. The only way you would have possibly known about Ki-Adi-Mundi's pre-established birth date was actually a non-canon CD-ROM for The Phantom Menace, and I know nobody cared about that. So the next time you see complaints about broken lore and broken canon, make sure the complaint is coming from someone who knows ball, and someone who cites their claims with sources. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself commenting on someone's YouTube channel, and in this case, someone who knows the lore, and you're going to look dumb for it. Anyways, to everyone else, if you learned something new, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more videos, and tune in on Fridays 5 p.m. Pacific for our live show. Stay classy, and may the Force be with you.